December in Chicago strips away pretense. The cold doesn't care if you're wearing last season's coat with the broken zipper, or if your boots have cardboard stuffed inside to cover the holes in the soles. It cuts through everything with democratic cruelty. And tonight, it's particularly vicious. I push through the revolving door of the Rinaldi Tower at 11:45, my hands raw from 8 hours of scrubbing floors in a building where people make more in a day than I see in 6 months. The lobby gleams under fluorescent lights, all marble and glass and the kind of clean that only exists because people like me work when everyone else is sleeping. My cart squeaks as I wheel it toward the service elevator. The sound echoes in the empty space, and I'm hyper-aware of every noise I make. Invisibility is part of the job description. You clean, you leave. You don't exist in any meaningful way to the people who work here during daylight hours. The executive floors are always last. 32nd floor tonight. The private offices of Rinaldi Imports. I've been cleaning this building for 3 months, and I've learned which companies are fronts and which ones are legitimate. Rinaldi Imports falls somewhere in the dangerous middle. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. The elevator opens onto silence. Most nights, these floors are empty by 8, but tonight, light spills from an office at the end of the hall. The corner office, the one with Dante Rinaldi, CEO, on the door in letters that probably cost more than my monthly rent. I should come back tomorrow. Should follow protocol and skip any floor where someone's still working. But my supervisor made it clear this morning that I'm already on thin ice. 2 complaints about incomplete work in the past month. 1 more strike, and I'm gone. I can't afford to be gone. So I move quietly, starting at the far end of the hall, working my way toward that lit office with the kind of careful silence I've perfected over 3 months of night shift cleaning. The vacuum stays off. Just dusting, trash collection, spot cleaning. Quick and invisible. I'm almost finished. Just the area outside the corner office remaining, when the door opens. Dante Rinaldi is exactly what you'd expect from a man who runs a criminal empire disguised as an import business. Tall, maybe 6'3", with dark hair styled in that effortless way that costs a fortune to achieve. His suit probably costs more than I make in 3 months. He's on his phone, speaking rapid Italian, his voice low and controlled in a way that suggests violence is always an option, just carefully leashed. He doesn't see me. I'm furniture, part of the building, beneath notice. I should stay quiet, finish quickly, disappear. Instead, my cart chooses this exact moment to betray me. The wheel catches on the transition between carpet and tile, and the entire thing tips, sending my cleaning supplies clattering across the expensive flooring with a noise that sounds like an explosion in the silent hallway. Dante stops mid-sentence, turns, looks directly at me for the first time in 3 months. His eyes are dark, almost black, and the intensity of his gaze makes my breath catch. This is what it feels like to be seen by someone like him. Examined, assessed, catalogued as either useful or disposable. I'm sorry, I say quickly, dropping to my knees to gather the scattered supplies. I'm so sorry, Mr. Rinaldi. I'll be out of your way in just... Who are you? His voice cuts through my apology. Still on the phone, but his attention is completely focused on me now. Sophia, I'm the night cleaning staff. I didn't mean to disturb you. I'll just... Wait. He says something in Italian into the phone, then ends the call. Stand up. I stand, clutching a bottle of glass cleaner like it might protect me from whatever's about to happen. My heart is hammering so hard I'm sure he can hear it. He moves closer, and I resist the urge to step back. Men like Dante Rinaldi can smell fear, and showing it never helps. Sophia, he repeats, like he's testing the name. How long have you worked here? 3 months, sir. And in 3 months, I've never seen you before. I work the night shift, 11 to 7. Most people are gone by the time I arrive. I'm talking too fast. Words tumbling over themselves. I'm very careful not to disturb anyone. Tonight was an accident. It won't happen again. His eyes track over me, clinical assessment that should feel invasive but somehow doesn't. He's not looking at me the way most men look at women. This is different. Colder. More calculating. You're limping, he observes. I am. My left ankle, twisted 2 days ago on ice outside my apartment building. I've been wrapping it, taking ibuprofen I can't really afford, hoping it heals before it becomes obvious enough to affect my work. I'm fine, sir. It doesn't impact my ability to. That wasn't a question about your work performance. He pauses. It was an observation about your well-being. The distinction catches me off guard. In 3 years of working cleaning jobs across Chicago, exactly 0 employers have cared about my well-being beyond its impact on productivity. I'll be more careful with the cart, I say, defaulting to the safer territory of work discussion. This won't happen again. See that it doesn't. He returns his attention to his phone, dismissing me as thoroughly as if I've ceased to exist. I gather the rest of my supplies quickly, finish the hallway in record time, and escape to the service elevator with my pulse still racing. Only when the doors close do I let myself breathe fully. That was Dante Rinaldi, the man whose name appears in whispered conversations, in news articles that carefully avoid saying what everyone knows. The man who runs an empire built on loyalty and violence and connections that reach into every corner of this city. And for 30 seconds, he looked directly at me. I should be relieved that the encounter ended with nothing more than observation and dismissal. Instead, something uncomfortable sits in my chest. Not fear, exactly. More like awareness. The kind you get when you realize you've been noticed by something predatory. And you're not sure yet whether that's dangerous or just inevitable. The apartment I share with my daughter is 40 minutes away by train, in a neighborhood where the rent is cheap because the building's heat barely works, and the locks on the doors are suggestions more than security. I key in quietly at 12:50, expecting Emma to be asleep. Instead, my 7-year-old is awake, curled on the couch with her homework spread across the coffee table I found on the curb 3 months ago. Mama! She jumps up, and guilt knifes through me. She should be asleep. Should be in bed. Not waiting up because her mother works night shifts, and there's no one else to make sure she's safe. Baby, what are you doing up? I pull her into a hug, breathing in the strawberry scent of the cheap shampoo I buy in bulk. I couldn't sleep, and I wanted to finish my math homework so we could have breakfast together before you have to sleep. 7 years old and already structuring her life around my schedule. Already understanding that time with me is limited, precious, something to be calculated and maximized. Let me see. I look at her homework. Equations she's solved with the careful precision she applies to everything. She's smart, my Emma. Smarter than I ever was at her age. She deserves better than this apartment, better than a mother who's never home, better than the free lunch program at school and hand-me-down clothes from the church donation box. Perfect work, I tell her, because it is. Now bed, sweetheart. We'll have breakfast together, I promise. I tuck her into the bedroom we share, her small bed pushed against one wall, mine against the other. The apartment is a one-bedroom technically, but calling the space a bedroom is generous. It's barely large enough for 2 twin beds and a narrow dresser. After she's asleep, I sit at the kitchen table and look at the bills spread across the surface like accusations. Electric, past due. Gas, final notice. Rent, due in 4 days and I'm $200 short. Medical bills from Emma's strep throat last month. In collections. The ring on my left hand catches the light. Gold band, simple. purchased at a pawn shop 3 years ago for $40. I wear it like armor, like protection. A wedding ring means you're off limits. It means men don't look too closely, don't ask too many questions, don't assume availability. It's also a lie. There is no husband. There never was. Just Emma's father, who disappeared the moment I told him I was pregnant. Just me, alone, trying to build something stable from nothing. I should sleep. I have 4 hours before Emma needs to get ready. For school, before I need to be awake and present and functional. But sleep feels impossible with bills staring at me, and Dante Rinaldi's dark eyes still vivid in my memory. He noticed my limp. In 3 months of invisible existence, the one night he actually sees me, he notices I'm hurt. I don't know what to do with that information. Don't know if it means anything beyond a moment's observation from a man whose world operates on completely different rules than mine. So I set it aside, focus on what I can control, and create a payment plan that involves choosing which bills get paid and which get pushed to next month. The electric company gets partial payment. The gas company gets promises. Rent gets cobbled together from every available dollar. It'll work. It has to work. 4 days later, I realize exactly how wrong I was. The email arrives Tuesday afternoon while I'm sleeping. I don't see it until I wake at 6, groggy and disoriented, to get Emma ready for school. Subject: employment termination, effective immediately. My stomach drops. Dear Ms. Reyes, due to recent performance issues and multiple complaints regarding incomplete work, your employment with Chicago Building Services is terminated effective immediately. Your final paycheck will be mailed to your address on file. Please return all company property, including keys and uniform, by end of business Friday. Regards, Marcus Chen, Operations Manager. I read it 3 times, each time hoping the words will rearrange themselves into something different. They don't. 3 months of work. 3 months of proving myself reliable, capable, invisible. Ended because of complaints I never heard about. Issues I was never given a chance to correct. Emma appears in the doorway, backpack already on her shoulders. Mama, are you okay? I force a smile. I'm fine, baby. Just tired. Come on, let's get you breakfast. She's too perceptive, sees through my forced calm, but she's also 7, still young enough to accept reassurance when it's offered. We eat cereal together in silence, and I walk her to the bus stop 3 blocks away, watching until she's safely aboard before allowing myself to feel the full weight of panic. No job means no income. No income means no rent. No rent means eviction. Eviction means Emma and I end up in a shelter or worse, sleeping in my car, which barely runs and definitely can't serve as housing through a Chicago winter. I call Marcus immediately. He doesn't answer. I leave a voicemail asking for clarification, offering to meet, to discuss whatever complaints were filed, to fix whatever I did wrong. He doesn't call back. By Wednesday, desperation sets in. I apply to 15 cleaning jobs, 3 waitressing positions, anything that offers night shifts so I can be home when Emma's awake. Nothing responds. Thursday, the rent deadline, comes with brutal clarity. I have enough to cover maybe half. Maybe. Friday arrives with one terrible option remaining. I know where Dante Rinaldi works. Know his schedule well enough from 3 months of cleaning around it. Know that Friday afternoons, he's usually in his office handling weekend business before the building empties for the weekend. This is stupid. This is dangerous. This is the kind of desperation that gets people hurt. But Emma deserves better than a shelter, better than instability, better than a mother who couldn't figure out how to keep them housed. So at 4:45 on Friday afternoon, I walk into the Rinaldi Tower through the front entrance for the first time ever. Not the service entrance, not the back hallways. The main lobby with its marble floors and security desk and the kind of polish that screams money and power. The security guard looks at me like I'm lost. Can I help you? I need to see Dante Rinaldi. My voice is steadier than I expected. Please, it's urgent. Do you have an appointment? No, but then I can't let you up. Mr. Rinaldi doesn't see anyone without appointments. Please. I'm begging now, and I hate it. But pride is a luxury I can't afford. Just 5 minutes. I used to work here. I just need to speak with him. The guard's expression softened slightly. Look, lady, I sympathize. But Mr. Rinaldi is very particular about his schedule. If you don't have an appointment, tell him it's Sophia, from the cleaning crew. Tell him I need 5 minutes. He hesitates, then picks up the phone. Speaks quietly into it. I can't hear the response, but his eyebrows rise slightly. He hangs up and looks at me with new assessment. 32nd floor. He'll see you for 5 minutes. The elevator ride feels eternal. My reflection in the polished doors shows exactly what I am. Desperate, exhausted, wearing my best clothes, which are still clearly thrift store finds. My hair is pulled back in a bun I hope looks professional, but probably just looks tired. The doors open onto the executive floor I know so well from the opposite side of visibility. Now walking through as a person rather than furniture, everything looks different. More intimidating, more expensive, more other. Dante's assistant, a polished woman in her 30s who's never acknowledged my existence during my cleaning shifts, looks up with barely concealed disdain. Mr. Rinaldi will see you now. 5 minutes. I walk into his office on shaking legs. Dante stands by the window, backlit by the late afternoon sun streaming through glass that I've cleaned a dozen times. He turns when I enter, and those dark eyes find mine with the same intensity I remember from our first real interaction. Sophia, he gestures to a chair. Sit. I'd rather stand. Suit yourself. He leans against his desk, arms crossed. You asked for 5 minutes. The clock is running. The words I practiced all morning dissolve. I'm left with nothing but raw honesty. I was fired. From the cleaning company. They said performance issues, but I never received warnings. Never had a chance to correct whatever problems they claimed existed. I'm talking too fast again, but I can't stop. I need work. Any work. I know you have connections. Know you probably know people who need someone reliable. I'll do anything. Cleaning, filing, answering phones. Anything. And you're asking me for help because you noticed me. The admission feels like vulnerability. When my cart fell, you didn't just see a problem to be managed. You noticed I was limping. You saw me as a person. I take a breath. I'm hoping that means you might be willing to help another person who's in trouble. Dante is quiet for a long moment. What kind of trouble? The kind that comes from being a single mother with a 7-year-old daughter and rent due tomorrow that I can't cover. Tears are threatening now, and I force them back. I'm not asking for charity. I'm asking for work. A chance to earn what I need. His expression doesn't change, but something in his posture shifts. You have a daughter. Emma, she's 7. Smart, kind, everything good I'm not. My voice cracks. She deserves stability. I can't give her that if I can't keep us housed. And your husband? The question catches me off guard. My hand instinctively goes to the ring, the lie I've worn so long it feels like truth. There is no husband, I admit quietly. There never was. I wear the ring because it's safer. Men don't bother you as much when they think you're married. Dante's eyes drop to my hand, to the cheap gold band that's supposed to be protection. When he looks back at my face, something in his expression has changed. The cold assessment is still there, but underneath it, something else. Something that might be understanding or might be calculation. With men like him, it's hard to tell the difference. Please, I whisper, and I hate the word, hate the begging, hate the desperation in my voice. Please don't send me away. I need this. Emma needs this. He studies me for another endless moment. Then, you'll work here. Executive assistant position. 70,000 a year. Full benefits. Start Monday. The number makes my head spin. That's too much. I don't have experience. You're organized, observant, and desperate enough to walk into a building and demand an audience with someone like me. That takes courage or stupidity, and I suspect it's courage. He moves to his desk, pulls out a business card, writes something on the back. This is my attorney, Vincent Moretti. Call him Monday morning. He'll handle the employment paperwork. I stare at the card, not quite believing this is real. Why are you helping me? Because I can. Simple. Direct. And because you're right. I did notice you. Something about you. He trails off, then seems to reconsider whatever he was about to say. Be here Monday at 8. We'll discuss your responsibilities then. Thank you. The words are inadequate, but they're all I have. Thank you, Mr. Rinaldi. Dante. He corrects. If you're going to work for me, we skip. Specifically. I understand. You'll also attend certain meetings, take notes, observe, learn the business. Some of these meetings will involve discussions of operations that exist in gray areas legally. You'll see things, hear things that could be problematic if shared with the wrong people. This is the warning, the acknowledgement of what I'm really walking into. I'm very good at not seeing or hearing things that aren't my business. I say carefully. 3 months of night cleaning taught me that. Something that might be approval flickers across his face. Good. Your desk is outside my office. Claire will show you the systems. Any questions? Why me? The question escapes before I can stop it. You could hire anyone. Someone with experience, credentials, connections. Why offer this to someone you barely know? Dante leans back in his chair, studying me with that unnerving intensity. You walked into my building desperate enough to beg but proud enough to frame it as asking for work, not charity. You're a single mother doing whatever it takes to keep your daughter safe and housed. You understand desperation, which means you understand motivation, and you wear a fake wedding ring as protection, which means you understand that sometimes survival requires playing roles. He pauses. I value loyalty, Sophia. Real loyalty, earned through mutual benefit, not demanded through fear. You need stability. I need someone I can trust who won't be seduced by money or intimidated by what they learn here. We can give each other what we need. And if I fail, if I can't do this job, then I'll find you different work. Something that matches your actual capabilities. He returns his attention to his documents, dismissing me. But I don't think you'll fail. You're too determined to let your daughter down. He's right. I would do anything for Emma, even work for a man whose business dealings exist in shadows. The first 2 weeks pass in a blur of learning. Claire teaches me Dante's scheduling system, color-coded by priority and type of meeting. Red for family business, which I quickly learn means the dangerous side of his operations. Blue for legitimate import company meetings. Green for personal appointments, which are rare. I learn that Dante takes his coffee black at 7:45 every morning. That he has a tell when he's about to deliver bad news. His jaw tightens, a muscle jumping beneath the skin. That he touches his left cufflink twice before any important negotiation. I learn the names of his inner circle. Marco, head of security, built like a mountain with eyes that miss nothing. Joseph, who handles enforcement and looks at me like I'm a liability he's waiting to eliminate. Roberto, Dante's oldest friend and underboss, who has an easy smile that doesn't reach his calculating eyes. And I learn that working for Dante Rinaldi means being observed constantly. He notices everything. When I skip lunch because Emma's school called about a field trip fee I need to pay. When I'm limping again because my cheap boots gave out and I'm wearing shoes with no support. When I arrive 15 minutes early every day because the train schedule doesn't align perfectly with an 8 o'clock start time. On my 10th day, a package appears on my desk. Inside, professional boots, expensive leather, exactly my size. Mr. Rinaldi noticed you were struggling with your current footwear, Claire says neutrally when I stare at them. He prefers his staff to be appropriately equipped. I should refuse. Should establish boundaries about accepting gifts. But my feet hurt constantly, and Emma needs her field trip money more than I need pride. I wear the boots. They fit perfectly. 2 days later, another package. This one contains a winter coat. Charcoal gray, professional, warm enough for Chicago winters. Claire, don't, she interrupts. Just accept that Mr. Rinaldi takes care of his people. Fighting it wastes everyone's time. That afternoon, Dante calls me into his office at 4:30. The boots fit? He asks without preamble. Yes, thank you. They're too generous, but they're practical. You were limping again. Now you're not. He gestures to the chair. Sit. We need to discuss your daughter's care situation. Ice floods my veins. Emma? You're working 8 to 6 most days. Who watches her after school? She goes to the after-school program until 5:30. Then she takes the bus to my neighbor's apartment. Mrs. Chen watches her until I get home around 7. The arrangement costs $40 a week I can barely afford, and Mrs. Chen is 73 and increasingly forgetful, but it's the best I can manage. That's not sustainable. Dante pulls out his phone, types something. I have a solution. There's a private school 3 blocks from here. Excellent academics, after-school programs until 6:30, transportation included. Emma would be closer, better supervised, and you could see her during your lunch break if needed. I can't afford private school? The company has an educational assistance program for dependents of executive staff. Tuition is covered. Dante, that's too much. It's practical, he interrupts, echoing his earlier justification about the boots. You're distracted worrying about your daughter's care. Distraction affects performance. This solves the problem. His expression softens almost imperceptibly. And 7-year-olds shouldn't be shuffled between after-school programs and elderly neighbors who might forget them. Emma deserves better. The fact that he remembers her name, that he's clearly thought about this, makes something in my chest tighten. Why do you care? I ask quietly. About my boots? My daughter's school? Any of it? I'm just an assistant. No, Dante says, his dark eyes holding mine. You stopped being just an assistant the moment I actually looked at you. You're under my protection now, Sophia. That means I ensure you have what you need to function effectively. It also means your daughter is protected by extension. I don't understand what you want from me. I want you to do your job well, to be loyal, to trust that when I say you're under my protection, I mean it completely. He pauses. And I want you to stop questioning every kindness like it's a trap. Sometimes help is just help. In my experience, nothing is ever just help. There's always a price. Then consider the price your continued excellent work and absolute discretion about what you see and hear here. Dante returns his attention to his computer. Emma's enrollment paperwork is on your desk. Fill it out by end of day. She starts next Monday. I'm dismissed again. I leave his office with my head spinning. That night, after Emma is asleep, I sit at our kitchen table and look at the enrollment forms for Ashford Academy. The tuition listed makes my breath catch. $35,000 per year. The kind of school where children of diplomats and executives and old money families attend. The kind of school where Emma would get opportunities I could never provide on my own. I fill out the paperwork. Emma's first day at Ashford changes everything. I walk her to the building during my lunch break, watching her eyes go wide at the library, the art studio, the gymnasium that's bigger than our entire apartment. "Mama, is this real?" she whispers, clutching my hand. "It's real, baby, and you deserve every bit of it." A teacher, Ms. Richardson, greets us with warmth that seems genuine. "Emma, we're so excited to have you. Let me show you to your classroom." I watch my daughter disappear into a world of possibility, and something in me breaks open. Not sadness exactly. More like the release of pressure I've been holding for 7 years. When I return to the office, Dante is waiting. "How did it go?" She loves it already. I can't quite hide the emotion in my voice. "Thank you. I know I keep saying it, but I don't know how else to express." "You don't need to express anything. Just keep doing your job." But his expression has softened in that subtle way I'm learning to recognize. She's a good kid? The best. Smart, kind, resilient. I pause. She asks about her father sometimes. I tell her he wasn't ready to be a parent, which is the kindest version of the truth. Which is that he abandoned you both when you needed him most. The blunt assessment should sting, but it's just accurate. Yes. She's better off without someone that unreliable in her life. Dante leans against his desk. Children need stability more than they need biological connection to someone who doesn't want to be there. There's something in his tone, some echo of personal experience. Before I can analyze it, his phone buzzes. He glances at the screen and his expression shudders completely. "I need you in the conference room in 5 minutes. Bring your laptop for notes." Of course. The conference room is all dark wood and leather chairs and windows overlooking the city. When I enter, 3 men are already seated. I recognize Marco and Joseph. The third man is unfamiliar. Mid-50s, expensive suit, eyes that calculate everything. "Gentlemen, this is Sophia Reyes, my executive assistant," Dante says. "She'll be taking notes for our records." "Sophia, this is Vincent Caruso. He handles our port operations." Vincent's eyes track over me with assessment that makes my skin crawl. "Quite a change from your usual type, Dante. Normally you hire people with more experience." "Ms. Reyes has exactly the experience I need." Dante's voice drops into that dangerous register I've learned to recognize. Her discretion and loyalty are beyond question. "Any concerns about her presence here?" The question sounds casual. It's not. This is Dante establishing territory, making clear that questioning his choices is unacceptable. "No concerns, boss," Vincent says quickly. The meeting proceeds. Discussion of shipping manifests, customs delays, territorial negotiations with rival families. I take notes mechanically, capturing details without fully processing their implications. This is survival mode. Record information. Ask no questions. Become invisible furniture again. It works until Vincent makes a comment about a problem that needs permanent resolution. "The Castellano family is pushing into our territory at the docks," Vincent says. "We've tried negotiation. They're not interested. At some point, we need to send a message that has impact." "Define impact," Dante says coldly. "Whatever it takes to make them back off. We have people who can handle it quietly." "No." Dante's voice cuts through the room like a blade. "We handle this through channels. Reach out to their underboss. Arrange a sit-down. We negotiate territory like civilized people, not animals." "Boss, with respect. They've shown they don't respond to civilized negotiation." "Then we escalate the negotiation. Financial pressure, political connections, every legal and semi-legal avenue before we even consider violence." Dante's expression is granite. "I didn't build this organization by being reckless. We solve problems strategically, not emotionally." The shift in his approach is palpable. The other men exchange glances that suggest this isn't his usual method. After the meeting ends and the others file out, Dante catches my arm gently. "You all right?" "That was about killing someone, wasn't it? The permanent resolution discussion." Yes, and you chose not to. I chose to exhaust other options first. He releases my arm. This world isn't black and white, Sophia. Sometimes violence is necessary, but it should never be the first choice, only the last resort when everything else has failed. Is that new? Choosing negotiation over violence? His slight pause tells me everything. Recent development. Turns out having people depending on you changes risk calculation. I understand what he's not saying. Something has shifted in how he operates. Someone has made him reconsider the casual violence that probably characterized his earlier leadership. Your notes from today get locked in the secure file, Dante continues. Password protected, encrypted. Claire will show you the system. Nothing discussed in meetings like this gets stored anywhere accessible. Understood. That evening, riding the train home, I think about permanent resolution and strategic negotiation, and the way Dante's entire demeanor changed when violence was suggested. I think about my daughter in her new school, about the boots on my feet and the coat keeping me warm. I think about what it means to be under Dante Rinaldi's protection, and how that protection is changing him as much as it's changing me. 3 weeks into my new position, the first real threat emerges. It's a Wednesday, late afternoon. Emma is at Ashford's after-school art program, and I'm organizing files when my phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? Sophia Reyes? Male voice, unfamiliar. Yes. Who's calling? Someone who's been watching you. You've moved up in the world recently. New job, fancy office, daughter in private school. Quite an improvement. Ice slides down my spine. Who is this? A concerned party. See, when someone like you suddenly starts working for someone like Dante Rinaldi, people get curious. They wonder what you might know, what you might have access to. They wonder if you might be useful. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do. I think you're smarter than you pretend to be. And I think you should carefully consider whether loyalty to Dante Rinaldi is worth the risk to that pretty daughter of yours. The line goes dead. My hands are shaking. I should tell Dante immediately, should report this threat. But something stops me. The casual mention of Emma, the knowledge of her school, the implication that we're being watched. I make it exactly 45 minutes before fear overrides hesitation. Dante is in his office reviewing contracts when I knock. Come in. I received a threatening call. I keep my voice steady. Someone who knew about Emma, about her school, about my working here. They implied she might be at risk. Everything about Dante changes. The relaxed posture goes rigid. His expression shifts from neutral to coldly furious in the space between heartbeats. Tell me everything. Exact words if you can remember them. I relay the conversation word for word. Dante listens without interrupting, but I watch his hands curl into fists against his desk. When I finish, he picks up his phone. Marco, my office. Now. Then to me. Where's Emma right now? After school program at Ashford. Art class until 5:30. Not anymore. He's typing rapidly on his phone. I'm sending 2 guards to pick her up immediately. They'll bring her here, to this office, where she stays until we determine the threat level. Dante, you're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. Someone just threatened your daughter to get to me. His eyes meet mine, and what I see there makes my breath catch. Pure, controlled rage. That's unacceptable. It ends today. Marco arrives within minutes. Dante briefs him with clinical precision, and I watch Marco's expression darken with each detail. Castellano family, Marco says when Dante finishes. Has to be. They're the only ones pushing hard enough right now to try intimidation tactics. Find out for certain. Then we handle it. Dante's voice drops to that dangerous quiet. No one threatens a child. I don't care what family they represent or what territorial disputes we have. That line doesn't get crossed. Understood, boss. After Marco leaves, Dante turns back to me. Emma stays with me until we pick her up. You're getting a security detail starting immediately. Thomas will drive you both home tonight and stay outside your apartment. Tomorrow you're moving. Moving where? I have a property in Lincoln Park. Brownstone, 3 bedrooms, secure building with controlled access. You and Emma will live there under guard until this situation is resolved. Dante, I can't. You can, and you will. He's not asking anymore. Sophia, they threatened your daughter. They know where you live, where she goes to school, your routines. Your current apartment has locks a child could pick, and neighbors who wouldn't notice if someone broke in. That's not acceptable anymore. This is too much. Moving us guards, all of it. It's necessary. He moves closer, and for the first time, I see fear beneath his anger. Not for himself, but for us. You're under my protection. That means I protect you completely, not halfway. Emma deserves to sleep somewhere safe. So do you. The certainty in his voice breaks down my resistance. What do I tell her? She's 7. How do I explain guards and moving and all of this without terrifying her? Tell her the truth in language she can understand, that your job sometimes involves helping important people, and important people have security, and now she gets to be safe too. Dante's expression softens fractionally. Kids are resilient, Sophia, more than we give them credit for. She'll adapt. And when this is over, when the threat is resolved, then we reassess. But the brownstone is yours for as long as you want it. Consider it part of your compensation package. Before I can argue further, his phone buzzes. He glances at it, and his expression shifts again. Emma's secure. Guards are bringing her here now. She'll be in the conference room with a tablet and snacks until you're ready to leave. 15 minutes later, I'm reunited with my daughter in a glass-walled conference room where 2 intimidating men in suits stand guard outside. Emma looks small and confused, clutching her backpack like a lifeline. Mama? These men said you sent them. They had a picture of you on their phone to prove it. Her voice is small. What's happening? I pull her into a hug, breathing in her strawberry shampoo scent. Everything's okay, baby. My boss just wanted to make sure you got here safely. He's very careful about security. The men were nice. They let me bring my art project. She holds up a painting, watercolors depicting our apartment building. But Mama, why did I need to leave art class early? How do I explain threat assessment and protective custody to a 7-year-old? Dante appears in the doorway before I can formulate an answer. His expression has shifted completely from the cold fury I saw minutes ago. Now he looks almost gentle, careful, approaching Emma the way you might approach a nervous animal. Emma, he says, his voice softer than I've ever heard it. I'm Dante Rinaldi. I work with your mother. Emma studies him with the solemn assessment children apply to adults. You're her boss. She told me about you. Did she? What did she say? That you're very smart and very busy, and you helped her get a better job so we could have nice things. Emma glances at me, then back at Dante. She didn't say you were tall, though. You're really tall. The corner of Dante's mouth twitches, almost a smile. I get that a lot. Can I see your painting? Emma holds it up proudly. It's our building. See? That's our window on the 4th floor, and that's Mrs. Chen's cat in the alley. His name is Mango. Dante examines the painting with genuine attention. You're very talented. The perspective is excellent for someone your age. He crouches down to Emma's level, and I watch something impossibly soft cross his features. Emma, I need to talk to you about something important. Your mama's job involves helping me with things that sometimes require extra security. Do you know what security means? Like guards? People who keep you safe? Exactly. And because your mama works for me now, you both get security too. That means some changes. Guards who will drive you places, a new apartment that's safer, rules about where you can go and who you can talk to. He pauses. I know that sounds scary, but I promise you, it's to keep you and your mama safe. Can you be brave about this? Emma looks at me, seeking permission or reassurance. I nod. I can be brave, she says quietly. Mama always says being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means doing what you need to do even when you are scared. Your mama is very wise. Dante stands, and the gentleness remains in his expression. You're going to stay with your mama here for a little while longer. Then Thomas, he's one of my most trusted people, will drive you both to see your new apartment. It's in a nice neighborhood with a park nearby. I think you'll like it. After Dante leaves, Emma curls against my side. Mama, is something bad happening? Something that could be bad, so we're being extra careful. But Mr. Rinaldi is making sure we're safe. Do you trust me? Always? Then trust that everything's going to be okay. I wish I believed my own reassurance. But as I hold my daughter in a conference room guarded by armed men, in a building owned by a man whose protection is both gift and cage, I realize I've crossed a line I can never uncross. We're in Dante Rinaldi's world now. Completely. And there's no going back to the simple struggle of poverty and anonymity. The only question remaining is whether his protection will be enough when the threats he's shielded us from finally come to collect. The brownstone in Lincoln Park is nothing like our apartment. 3 stories of restored brick with original hardwood floors and windows that actually seal against the cold. Emma's bedroom is twice the size of the space we shared before, with built-in bookshelves and a window seat overlooking a small private garden. Mama, is this really ours? She stands in the doorway, afraid to enter, like stepping inside might shatter the illusion. It's really ours, baby. Go look around. I watch her explore with cautious wonder, touching the furniture like it might disappear. Thomas stands in the hallway, professional and unobtrusive, but his presence is a constant reminder that this luxury comes with invisible chains. The first week passes in careful adjustment. Thomas drives Emma to school every morning, picks her up every afternoon. A second guard, Michael, monitors the building's entrance. I'm not allowed to deviate from approved routes between home, work, and Emma's school. It's protection, but it's also confinement. Dante maintains professional distance during work hours, but I catch him watching me with an intensity that's new, like he's cataloging my reactions, measuring my adaptation to this new reality. On Friday, Marco reports that the threatening call came from a burner phone purchased in cash, untraceable. But intelligence suggests Castellano family involvement based on similar tactics they've used before. We've sent clear message that the child is off limits, Marco tells Dante during a meeting I'm present for. Reached out through intermediaries, made it known that threatening Emma crosses a line that triggers immediate retaliation. And their response? Dante's voice is controlled ice. They claim ignorance. Say any threat wasn't sanctioned by family leadership. Probably some overzealous soldier operating independently. Do you believe that? Marco hesitates. I believe they're smart enough to create plausible deniability. Whether they ordered it directly or just created an environment where their people felt empowered to act, the result is the same. Agreed. Dante leans back in his chair. Double security on Sophia and Emma for the next month. I want every movement monitored, every deviation from routine reported immediately. And Marco? Make it known that the next person who even looks at them wrong disappears. I don't care what family they represent. The casual mention of making someone disappear should horrify me. Instead, I feel a complicated mix of fear and safety. This is what Dante Rinaldi's protection looks like. Absolute. Uncompromising. Dangerous. To anyone who threatens what he's claimed. After the meeting, Dante calls me into his office. How's Emma adjusting? She loves the apartment, the school. She asked last night if this is permanent or if we have to go back when the danger time is over. I meet his eyes. I didn't know how to answer. Tell her it's permanent. The brownstone is yours for as long as you want it. The security will scale down once the immediate threat passes, but you're not going back to that apartment with broken locks and neighbors who can't be trusted. Dante, I can't keep accepting. Then don't think of it as accepting. Think of it as earning. He stands, moving to the window. You're doing excellent work, Sophia. Your organizational skills are exactly what I needed. The notes you take are thorough without being invasive. You've learned to read situations, to understand context without needing everything explained. That's valuable. The housing is appropriate compensation. Most assistants don't get 3-bedroom brownstones as compensation. Most assistants don't work for me, and most assistants aren't raising daughters alone while navigating the complexities of my world. He turns to face me. You've adapted remarkably well to circumstances most people would find overwhelming. That deserves recognition. The compliment settles warm in my chest. I had good motivation. Emma's stability has always been my priority. Everything else is just details. Not details, choices. You chose to walk into my building desperate and proud, chose to accept help that came with complications, chose to trust that my protection meant something real. His dark eyes hold mine. Those weren't small choices, Sophia. They were brave ones. Or foolish ones. I'm still not sure which. Can't they be both? Before I can respond, his phone buzzes. He glances at it and his expression shudders. I need to handle something. We'll continue this conversation another time. I'm dismissed, but the weight of his words stays with me. Brave or foolish. Maybe he's right that they're not mutually exclusive. 3 weeks into living in the brownstone, Emma asks the question I've been dreading. Mama, do you like Mr. Rinaldi? We're at dinner, just the two of us at the kitchen table in a house that still doesn't feel quite real. I set down my fork carefully. He's my boss, baby. He's been very kind to us. That's not what I asked. She's too perceptive, my daughter. 7 going on 17. I asked if you like him, the way grown-ups like each other. What makes you think I might? The way you talk about him, and the way he looked at us that day in the conference room. He looked at you like you were important. She pauses. Nobody's looked at you like that before. Not that I remember. The observation catches me off guard. Your father? I don't remember my father. You don't talk about him except to say he wasn't ready to be a parent. Emma's voice is matter of fact. But Mr. Rinaldi looks at you different. Like you matter. Like we matter. You've always mattered, Emma. To me, you're everything. I know. But it's nice when other people think we matter too. She returns to her dinner. I like him. He's kind of scary, but he's nice to you. And he got us this house and my school. That makes him good in my book. Later, after Emma is asleep, I sit in the living room trying to untangle my own feelings about Dante Rinaldi. Do I like him? The question is more complicated than my daughter realizes. I'm grateful to him. Attracted to him in ways I keep trying to suppress. Fascinated by the contradictions, the controlled violence and unexpected gentleness, the strategic mind and the protective instinct that seems to extend beyond mere pragmatism. But liking implies something softer than what I feel, something less complicated than the awareness that settles in my chest every time he looks at me. My phone buzzes. Text from Dante. Conference room tomorrow, 9 a.m. Bring Emma. Important discussion. The message is cryptic enough to spike my anxiety. I respond. Is something wrong? His reply comes immediately. Nothing wrong, trust me. Those 2 words carry more weight than they should. Trust me. As if trust is simple. As if I haven't learned that trust is the most dangerous gamble. But I text back. We'll be there. Saturday morning, Thomas drives Emma and me to the Rinaldi Tower. The building is mostly empty on weekends, creating an eerie quiet as we ride the elevator to the 32nd floor. Dante is waiting in the conference room, but he's not alone. A woman in her 30s sits beside him, professional but warm, with kind eyes and an easy smile. Sophia, Emma, this is Dr. Caroline Chen. She's a child psychologist who specializes in helping children adjust to unconventional family situations. Emma presses closer to my side, suddenly shy. I'm confused and wary. I don't understand, I say carefully. Why would Emma need a psychologist? Because the past month has been disruptive for her, Dante says gently. New home, security guards, awareness that her mother's work involves some level of danger. Those are significant adjustments for a 7-year-old. Dr. Chen can help ensure Emma processes everything in healthy ways. Dr. Chen leans forward slightly. Emma, do you know what I do? I help kids talk about their feelings. Sometimes when big changes happen, it helps to have someone whose job is just to listen and help you understand what you're feeling. Does that make sense? Emma nods slowly. Like when my friend Mia's parents got divorced, and she talked to a special teacher who helped her feel less sad? Exactly like that. And I thought maybe you and I could talk sometimes about the changes in your life, about anything that feels confusing or scary. Would that be okay? Can Mama be there? If you want her to be, or sometimes just you and me, whatever makes you comfortable. I look at Dante, trying to understand this unexpected consideration. You arrange this? I arrange the introduction. The decision is yours and Emma's. But Sophia, she's processing a lot. Having professional support isn't weakness, it's wisdom. The fact that he thought about this, that he considered Emma's emotional well-being beyond just physical safety, does something to my carefully maintained defenses. Can Emma and Dr. Chen talk privately for a few minutes? I ask. So she can decide if she's comfortable? Of course. Dr. Chen stands, offering her hand to Emma. Want to see the other conference room? It has a better view of the city. Emma looks at me for permission. I nod. She takes Dr. Chen's hand and they disappear down the hall. Alone with Dante, the silence stretches. Why did you really do this? I ask quietly. Because Emma deserves support. Because you're carrying enough without also having to be her entire emotional safety net. He moves closer, and I'm acutely aware of his proximity. And because I know what it's like to grow up in this world without anyone helping you process the darkness, I don't want that for her. You grew up in this world? My father ran the organization before me. I was raised knowing what we were, what we did. It was normal to have guards, to understand that certain conversations weren't for outside ears, to know that violence was always an option hovering at the edges. His expression shadows. No one asked me how I felt about it. No one helped me separate the person I wanted to be from the role I'd inherit. I just adapted, became what was needed. And what did you want to be? Something else. Anything else. He says it simply, without self-pity. But that wasn't an option. The family needed leadership when my father died. I stepped up because there was no alternative. Do you regret it? Some days. Other days, I see the good we do. The people we employ, the families we protect, the stability we create in neighborhoods where chaos would reign otherwise. It's complicated. He meets my eyes. Most important things are. Before I can respond, Emma and Dr. Chen return. My daughter looks more relaxed, less apprehensive. Dr. Chen is nice, Mama. She showed me pictures of her dog. His name is Biscuit. Emma pauses. I think I'd like to talk to her sometimes, if that's okay. It's absolutely okay, baby. Dr. Chen smiles. I've given Emma my card. We'll schedule regular sessions, maybe weekly to start, and see how it goes. Sophia, I'd like to meet with you separately as well, to discuss how to support Emma through this transition. After they leave, it's just Dante, Emma, and me in the conference room. Emma is examining the city view, pressing her nose against the glass, and Dante watches her with an expression I can't quite read. "Thank you," I say quietly, "for thinking about this, for caring about more than just keeping us physically safe. Emma's well-being affects you. Your well-being affects your work." He says it pragmatically, but there's something underneath. And she's a good kid. She deserves every advantage. Emma turns from the window. "Mr. Rinaldi, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Why do you help us?" "Mama says it's because she works for you, but I think it's more than that." She tilts her head, studying him with unsettling perception. "I think you like us. Not just as employees, as people." Dante is silent for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is softer than I've ever heard it. "You're right. I do like you. Both of you. You remind me that the world has good things in it, things worth protecting. That's rare in my life. Because your job is hard and sometimes dangerous?" "Yes. Mama's job used to be hard too. She worked all night cleaning, and she was always tired, and sometimes she cried when she thought I was asleep." Emma's voice is matter of fact. "But she's happier now. She smiles more. I think you're part of why." I should redirect this conversation, establish boundaries, prevent my 7-year-old from making observations that cut too close to truths I'm not ready to examine. But Dante is looking at me with such open vulnerability that words fail. "I'm glad she's happier," he says to Emma, though his eyes never leave mine. "She deserves to be." The attack comes on a Tuesday evening, 4 weeks after the first threat. Thomas is driving Emma and me home from her therapy session with Dr. Chen. Traffic is heavy, typical rush hour congestion. We're 3 blocks from the brownstone when the car behind us accelerates suddenly, ramming our rear bumper hard enough to jolt us forward. Thomas reacts immediately, swerving to avoid a second impact. "Hold on!" 2 more vehicles appear, boxing us in. Professional operation coordinated. This isn't road rage. This is intentional. "Emma, get down." I pull my daughter to the floor, covering her body with mine as glass shatters. The rear window explodes inward, and I feel the sting of fragments against my back. Thomas is on his phone, voice clipped and urgent. "Code red. Lincoln Park and Armitage. 3 vehicles, armed assailants. Need immediate backup." Gunfire. Actual gunfire. Bullets slamming into the reinforced car with sounds like thunder. Emma is crying, terrified, and all I can do is hold her tighter and pray the armor Thomas mentioned when we first got the car is as good as promised. "Stay down." Thomas executes a maneuver that throws us sideways, tires screaming. More gunfire, closer now. Then answering shots, Thomas returning fire through his window with one hand while steering with the other. The car lurches forward, finding a gap in traffic. Thomas accelerates hard, running a red light, weaving between vehicles with precision that suggests extensive training. Behind us, I hear the pursuing cars trying to follow, but Thomas knows these streets better. 5 minutes that feel like hours. Emma sobbing against my chest, me whispering reassurances I don't believe, Thomas driving with controlled fury while coordinating backup on his phone. We pull up outside a building I don't recognize, not the brownstone, somewhere else. Thomas kills the engine. "Out, now, move." He's at my door before I can process, pulling Emma and me from the car with urgent efficiency. 2 more guards appear from nowhere, surrounding us as Thomas hustles us into the building. It's a hotel, expensive, with a doorman who takes one look at Thomas and steps aside without question. We're rushed through the lobby to a private elevator, up to a floor I don't track, down a hallway to a suite where the door opens before we reach it. Dante stands in the doorway, and the expression on his face stops me cold. Pure rage, barely controlled, combined with something that looks like fear. Get them inside, he orders Thomas. To me, are you hurt? Is Emma hurt? Glass in my back, I think. Emma's just scared. Dante, what? Inside, now. He's not asking. Medical team is on the way. The suite is huge, clearly a penthouse. Dante guides Emma and me to a couch, crouching down to Emma's level. His hands are gentle as he checks her for injuries, but I can see them shaking. Emma, sweetheart, you're very brave. I know that was scary, but you're safe now. I promise you're safe. His voice is steady despite the tremor in his hands. Can you tell me where it hurts? Nowhere. Mama covered me. Emma's crying has quieted to hiccups. But Mama's bleeding. I saw blood on her shirt. Dante's eyes snap to me. Take off your jacket. I comply, wincing as the fabric pulls against my back. Dante moves behind me and I hear his sharp intake of breath. Multiple lacerations from glass. Nothing deep, but they need cleaning and proper bandaging. He's already on his phone. Where the hell is medical? 2 minutes later, a woman arrives with a professional medical kit. She's efficient and gentle, cleaning the cuts on my back while Emma watches anxiously. Nothing requiring stitches, the woman confirms. Butterfly bandages should suffice. I'll prescribe antibiotics as precaution against infection. After she leaves, Dante dismisses Thomas and the other guards. It's just the three of us in the suite, me bandaged and exhausted, Emma curled against my side, and Dante pacing like a caged animal. This was the Castellano family, he says finally, voice tight with controlled fury. Confirmed by Marco. Coordinated assault designed to send a message. What message? My voice is steadier than I feel. That they're willing to escalate. That my protection isn't absolute. He stops pacing, his dark eyes meeting mine. They made a mistake. They touched what's mine. That has consequences. The possessiveness in his tone should alarm me. Instead, it feels like safety. What happens now? I ask quietly, aware of Emma listening to every word. Now I handle it. Simple. Final. You and Emma stay here tonight. This suite is secure. Guards posted outside. No one gets in without my explicit approval. Tomorrow, we reassess. And the Castellanos? By tomorrow, they'll understand exactly what it costs to threaten my people. He crouches in front of Emma, his expression softening. Emma, I need to leave for a few hours. Handle some business. Your mama is going to stay right here with you, and guards are outside the door. You're completely safe. Can you be brave a little longer? Emma nods, but her voice is small. Are you going to do something dangerous? I'm going to do something necessary. There's a difference. He touches her cheek gently. Get some sleep. I'll be back before you wake up. After Dante leaves, I tuck Emma into the suite's bedroom. She fights sleep, fear keeping her wired, but eventually exhaustion wins. I sit in the living room, back aching from the cuts, mind racing through everything that happened. This is real now, not theoretical danger or implied threats, but actual violence directed at us. If you're hooked on this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. My phone buzzes. Text from Dante. Don't wait up. This will take a while. I respond. Be careful. His reply. Always. I don't sleep. Can't sleep with adrenaline still coursing through my veins and the knowledge that Dante is out there somewhere, handling the Castellano family in ways I probably don't want to understand. He returns at 4 in the morning. I hear the door open, see him enter looking exhausted and dangerous. There's blood on his shirt cuff. Not his. I realize with certainty I don't want to examine. It's done, he says quietly. The Castellanos have been educated about boundaries. They won't touch you again. What did you do? What was necessary? He moves to pour himself whiskey from the bar, downs it in one swallow. Their underboss is in the hospital. Not dead, but he'll remember this conversation. The family leadership received very clear terms. You and Emma are untouchable. Violating that means war they can't win. You hurt someone because of us. I hurt someone because they broke the most fundamental rule. You don't target children. You don't target innocents to make points about territory. His eyes are hard. That line is absolute, Sophia. I won't apologize for defending it. I should be horrified, should recoil from this man who casually discusses hospitalization and threats of war. Instead, I cross the room and wrap my arms around him. He goes rigid with surprise, then slowly returns the embrace. I feel the tension drain from his powerful frame as he holds me. Thank you, I whisper against his chest, for keeping us safe, for caring enough to do whatever it took. Sophia. His voice is rough. You don't understand what I did, what I'm capable of. I understand enough. I understand that when we were in danger, you handled it. That Emma can sleep tonight without nightmares because you made sure the threat was neutralized. I pull back to look at him. I'm not naive, Dante. I know what you are. I'm choosing to trust you anyway. Something in his expression cracks. The control he maintains so carefully fractures, and I see beneath it the fear he felt when Thomas called, the rage at knowing we'd been attacked, the desperate need to protect what he's claimed as his. I can't lose you, he says quietly. Either of you. You've become too important. I didn't mean for that to happen, but it did. And now I can't imagine my life without you in it. Then don't lose us. Keep us safe. Keep being the man who thought to hire a child psychologist and who makes sure Emma's school has the best art program. I reach up, touching his face. Be the complicated man you are. Dangerous and gentle. Violent and protective. I can accept all of it. He kisses me then. Not gentle, not tentative. A claiming kiss that speaks of possession and fear and relief all tangled together. I kiss him back, pouring every complicated emotion I've been suppressing into the connection. When we break apart, both breathing hard, he rests his forehead against mine. This changes everything, he murmurs. It was already changed. We're just admitting it now. Morning comes with surprising normality. Emma wakes, slightly disoriented by the unfamiliar room, but quick to remember the previous night's events. She's quieter than usual, processing trauma in the way children do, alternating between clingy and distant. Dante arranges breakfast in the suite, sits with us while Emma picks at pancakes and I force down coffee. He's changed clothes, showered away the evidence of whatever he did last night, but I can see the exhaustion around his eyes. I want to go home, Emma says quietly, to our house, with the garden. Soon, Dante promises. I'm having additional security installed today. By tonight, it'll be even safer than before. Can you wait until then? Emma nods, then asks the question I've been dreading. Are the bad people going to come back? No. Dante's voice is absolute. They made a mistake. They've been corrected. They won't make it again. Because you scared them? Yes. Good. Emma's simple acceptance of violence as tool for protection should probably concern me. Instead, I recognize the pragmatism. In her world, Dante's violence kept her safe. That's all that matters to a 7-year-old. That evening, we return to the brownstone. The changes are immediately visible. Reinforced door, new security cameras, additional locks. But inside, it's the same warm space that's become home. After Emma is in bed, Dante and I sit in the living room. He stayed, not leaving immediately after ensuring our safety. This is new territory. Dante in our space after hours, the professional boundaries completely dissolved. What happens now? I ask. With us, I mean. What do you want to happen? I want honesty. I want to know what I am to you beyond employee or responsibility. Dante is quiet. For a long moment. You're the first real thing I've had in my life in longer than I can remember. Everything else is transactions and power plays and calculated relationships. But you and Emma, you're real. You matter in ways that have nothing to do with business or strategy. And that scares you. Terrifies me, he admits, because caring about you makes you vulnerable, makes me vulnerable. In my world, vulnerability gets people killed. So what do? We acknowledge it, accept the risk, choose each other anyway, knowing it's complicated and dangerous and probably inadvisable. He reaches for my hand. I'm not promising simplicity or safety from everything, but I am promising that I'll protect you and Emma with everything I have, that you'll always have a place in my life, in my world, that this, whatever this becomes, is real. I can work with that. I lace my fingers through his. No promises of perfection, just honesty and protection and figuring it out as we go. Together? Together? He kisses me again, softer this time. A promise rather than a claim. And for the first time since walking into his building desperate and proud, I feel like I've found something stable. Not despite the danger, but within it. Not avoiding the complexity, but accepting it as part of the foundation we're building. 3 months later, sitting in Dante's office while he reviews contracts and I organize his schedule, I catch him watching me with that soft expression I've learned to recognize. Emma is at therapy with Dr. Chen, making progress on processing the attack and the changes in our lives. The Castellano family has maintained peace, boundaries clearly established. Life has found a rhythm. Dangerous, complicated, but ours. What? I ask when I catch Dante staring. Just thinking about how things change. 6 months ago, you were invisible furniture. Now you're the first thing I think about in the morning and the last thing I want to see at night. That's very romantic for a crime boss. I have my moments. He stands, moving around his desk. Sophia, I want to make this official. Not just the relationship, that's already real, but legal. Protection that goes beyond my word. Are you asking what I think you're asking? I'm asking you to marry me, to let me claim you and Emma legally, not just through organizational loyalty, to build something permanent from this complicated foundation we've created. I should ask for time, should consider all the implications, should be practical about marriage to a man whose business exists in shadows. But looking at Dante Rinaldi, complicated, dangerous, surprisingly gentle man who hired a psychologist for my daughter and destroyed a family that threatened us, I know my answer. Yes. His smile transforms his entire face. Yes, yes, I'll marry you. Emma and I will be yours legally, officially, permanently. I move into his arms. We choose this. We choose you. Complicated, dangerous, protective you. Kisses me, and in that kiss is everything we are. The violence and gentleness, the protection and possession, the conscious choice to build a life together despite every rational reason we shouldn't. When we break apart, Dante pulls out his phone. I need to tell Emma. She should hear this from both of us. She'll be thrilled. She told me last week you'd make a good dad. Something in his expression softens impossibly. I've never been a father. I don't know if I'll be good at it. You got her a psychologist and made sure her school has the best art program. You're already better than you think. That evening, we tell Emma together. Her reaction is everything I hoped for. Pure joy, no hesitation, no concern about complications. Just happiness that the man who protected us, who made us safe, who showed us what stability looked like, would officially be family. Does this mean I get to call him Dad? Emma asks, looking between us. Dante's expression does something that makes my eyes sting with unshed tears. If you want to, I'd be honored. Then yes, Dad. She tests the word, smiling. I like it. 3 months after that, we're married in a small ceremony attended by Dante's inner circle and my small family. Emma serves as flower girl, beaming in her dress. Marco and Joseph stand as witnesses. Dr. Chen sits in the front row, having become not just Emma's therapist, but a friend to all of us. The reception is held at Dante's brownstone, our brownstone now, legally and emotionally. I stand in the garden watching Emma chase fireflies with Roberto's daughter while Dante's arm wraps around my waist. No regrets? He asks quietly. Not a single one. This is complicated and dangerous and sometimes terrifying, but it's ours. We built it consciously, with full awareness of what it means. I turn in his arms. I love you, Dante Rinaldi. All of you. The darkness and the light, the violence and the protection, the criminal and the father figure. I love you too. You and Emma both. My family. He kisses my forehead. Thank you for trusting me, for choosing this life, for letting me be more than what I was. Thank you for seeing me, for protecting us, for being exactly who you are without apology. We watch Emma play, watch our chosen family celebrate around us, and I think about how far we've come from that night when I begged for work in his office. How desperation became opportunity, how protection became love, how danger and safety coexisted in the complicated space we've created. This is our life now. Sophia, Emma, and Dante Rinaldi. A family built from broken pieces, unconventional and fierce and absolutely real. And I wouldn't change a single thing. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you love this story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.